Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to talk about how to change your state. For those who follow the teachings of Neville Goddard, you will know that Neville talks a lot about your state, and that whatever state you're in on the inside, that is what will get reflected externally on the outside. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, the way I like to think of a state is as a story, as a timeline. So it's not just about the present moment I'm in now. It's also what I know to be true about my past and what outcome everything that has happened in the past and everything that is happening now is leading to in the future. I've found that seeing things like this, kind of like a movie where you're right now at the beginning of that movie and then a whole series of events happen and then you get to your wish fulfilled when you get to the end. It makes things a whole lot easier in terms of manifesting what you want. I find that when you think of your life or of the fulfillment of a desire like this as a timeline, as opposed to thinking of it just as a point in time, then it becomes much easier to shift your state. Because if you're seeing it as a point in time and you're trying to make yourself assume that you have the thing you want now, when it's pretty obvious when you look around that right now you physically don't have it, then that gets a bit confusing and it kind of messes with your head and you end up no longer knowing what's true and what isn't. Whereas if you see it as a story from start to finish, then you can see yourself as being at the start of that story or at a point on that timeline. And without needing to change any of the current facts, you can change what those facts are leading to and make it all lead to a happy ending without needing to confuse yourself about whether you have it now or don't have it now. If you know that you're in a story that is designed to lead you to that happy ending, then you can let that story play out and it becomes inevitable that everything that happens ends up leading to your chosen outcome. In fact, this is what Neville Goddard meant when he talked about living from the end. He didn't mean that you have to stay focused on that endpoint and ignore the present. He meant that you need to assume that everything that is happening right now is leading to your chosen end. Now, because I view it in this way, I find that the easiest way to change your state is simply to change your destination. So I can take the present moment, the present reality I'm in now, and my expected outcome based on the meaning that I'm currently giving to things. And then if I notice that I'm assuming that this isn't leading to the outcome I want, then all I need to do is set a new intention or a new destination and choose that from now on, I am heading towards my desired outcome. And by doing that, I have taken my entire past and all the current facts exactly as they are, and I have shifted into an entirely new state or new reality, because now suddenly everything that has happened and everything that is happening is now leading to my chosen outcome. Because remember, everything is forming itself according to your assumption. So the moment you choose that you are headed towards your desired destination, then everything forms itself around that. And all the current facts suddenly become a bridge that is leading you to that outcome. I want to give a little mention to the I remember when technique that Neville Goddard talked about. First of all, I'll explain what that is for those who aren't familiar with it. Basically, this technique is about taking the present moment with its current facts. Let's say you're in a situation that isn't what you want it to be, and you take this current situation and imagine it as being in the past. And you imagine that you are now at a future point in time where things are what you want them to be. And you're looking back and saying, I remember when things were not so good, and look at me now. All that unwanted stuff is in the past now, and I'm in this situation that I do want to be in. So that's the way Neville Goddard described it. Now, the way I use it is probably a little bit different to the way Neville talked about it. And the reason is that since I prefer to view the state as a story, as a complete timeline that includes past, present, and future, this means that when I use I remember when, I am not remembering the past, but a different story that had a different outcome. So I will say, I remember when I was in a reality where everything was going wrong and nothing was working. And now I'm in a reality where everything is falling perfectly into place and everything is leading to the outcome that I want. And what I find is that this works a lot better in terms of practicality and in terms of being able to navigate between the two levels of the self. Because as I've explained in other videos, you've got the level of the creator, where you're choosing which reality you're in, and then you've got the level of the human self, where you are immersed within one reality, and you're very reactive to whatever the facts and the environment happens to be within that reality that you've chosen at the higher level. So if you're viewing it as a story or a timeline, then when you shift into another reality, the current facts stay exactly the same. It just means that there is an identical point on the timeline in the old reality as there is in the new reality that you have chosen to move to. And doing it like this means that it doesn't get confusing to your human mind, because the current point is still exactly the same. I don't need to convince myself that different things are true about the current point in time. But I now know that the outcome that I'm headed towards and the path that lies ahead of me is different, because I'm now in a different story, a different reality that is leading to a different outcome. And the other thing I want to point out is that when you make the idea of shifting your state only about changing the end point, the destination, then you're taking away all the complications and you're letting everything fall into place very, very easily. You're not getting involved in how this needs to happen and what needs to change. You're not getting stuck in analyzing your limiting beliefs. You're not meddling with any of the middle bit of the journey. You just set the end point, and then the higher self takes care of orchestrating what the path needs to look like and what needs to change and what needs to be put in place to get the plot of the story to go from the point where you are now and take you to the outcome that you have chosen. Because what a lot of people do is that they look around at the facts and they assume that the current facts mean that they're going to get an unwanted outcome. And so they start trying to rearrange the current facts because they think that that's what is required in order to make the outcome change. But it's not. That's not how this works. If you simply assume that you're going to get the outcome you want without worrying about changing anything whatsoever about the current facts, then automatically those current facts become the ingredients for the new story that ended up leading to your chosen outcome. So when it comes to manifesting what you want, and when it comes to shifting your state, I like to keep it very, very simple and just ask myself, what is this all leading to? What is the whole plot of the story designed to get me to? And I find if you just learn to adjust that outcome to what you want it to be, then it makes the process very straightforward because you don't need to worry about anything else. You just choose that destination, and then absolutely everything that needs to be put in place for you to get to that end point will be put in place. The thing is, like, the ending of the movie changes the flavor of the whole movie. It changes the narrative. That's the thing to understand. I'm sure you've all seen those movies. They're the kind of movies that I like to watch, where it's all going wrong at the beginning and nothing is working, and then Through a series of twists and turns and, changes in the plot, everything falls into place and it all ends up leading to a lovely outcome. And that's the way to view your life. By changing the ending, by changing what it's all leading to, you change the meaning of what is going on right now. Because if you know that it's all designed to lead to that happy ending, then just like when you're watching one of those movies, you know that somehow there's going to be some twist that suddenly turns the problems around and makes everything come together. And if you've got that kind of narrative going on, then that's what will play out as fact in your life. So this is why it's so important that you are always the one choosing the outcome. I mean, you are anyway. Knowingly or unknowingly, you're the one choosing. But if you're looking around the facts and assuming that since the facts are the way they are, that means that it's all leading to an unwanted outcome, well, unfortunately, you will prove yourself right. But if you take ownership and decide that it's all leading to the outcome that you want, then the facts really will transform and life will end up taking you exactly where you have chosen to go. You just have to get really good at not letting yourself be swayed by the meaning that seems to be implied by the current facts. If it's not looking like it's leading to the outcome that you want, then choose a different outcome. You really, really can, I promise you. At the level of the God self, there is nothing that is impossible. So if you have a desire, choose that you get to have it. Move into a state, into a reality where you end up getting what you want. And then allow that to be created for you. And enjoy watching how it all comes together and how it all falls into place for you. It really can be that simple. As long as you step out of the way, let go of your human logic, and allow the magic to work all by itself. So you choose, and then just let the rest happen. And with that lovely image in your mind, I'm going to stop here for today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, because that really helps me to keep doing more of this and keep creating more of these videos. As usual, if you have questions, you can put them in the comments or come and find me on Facebook or through my website. And thanks for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.